Welcome to the Business Chaser, your quick pour of strategy, clarity, and momentum. We skip the small talk and get straight to the strategy here in these bite-sized episodes. We're here to help you grow smarter, market better, and chase what matters, all in 15 minutes or less. I'm your host, Lauren Najar. Tune in and let's chat.
Hi, and welcome back to Business Over Cocktails with Lauren Najar. This is the Business Chaser sequence, and I'm Heather Wylde, and I'm going to be talking to you today about high vibe sales conversations. So this is something that the industry has gotten away from in the last few years. A lot of people don't like sales calls because the way they were taught to do them feels really sleazy and pushy, and they're not comfortable doing them. But here's the thing. Sales conversations convert better than every other type on average, right? Your results may vary, right? But it's great to have emails. It's great to have funnels. It's great to do DM conversations, but sales combos convert better than all of those, especially when they're combined with all of those things. So if you're somebody that feels like the only way to have a sales conversation is to be pushy and to be gross, I'm going to show you why that is not the case today. So the basic, most simplified way to think about a high integrity sales call, like to talk to somebody and be really high vibe, is, do they have a problem that you are qualified to help them solve? Can you actually help them? The second part is, does your solution appeal to them, right? So just because you're a weight loss coach, for instance, or a health coach, doesn't mean that, and this person wants to lose weight. Maybe you do keto and they're vegan and they want to do intermittent fasting, right? So it has to be a matchup, right? And then the last part of it is really are they ready and able to solve this problem? Do they actually want to solve it now? Do they have the resources and, yes, money to hire you, but also do they have the time to actually show up and implement everything they need to do to actually get results? So if you're doing a sales conversation like that, there's really no pressure. It's really just a conversation to see if it makes sense for you to work together. And when I was trying to use the traditional sales techniques that I've been taught by almost every single coach I ever worked with, Lauren does not teach this. She was my first one-to-one business coach. But everybody else taught really, really pushy, NLP-based, manipulative stuff. And it just turned my stomach. I'm like, there's no way I can use this on someone who is coming to me for help. And at the time, I was doing transformational coaching and sex coaching. So I was like, there's no way. I'm not going to be sleazy to make somebody buy from me. And then I figured out through Lauren's help, through doing a lot of just geeking out about sales, you really don't have to be pushy. And actually, when you have this high vibe energy where you're really just having a consult with somebody, or I call my stuff sales calls because I may sell to someone, right? But it's never I don't get on a call with somebody unless I know that they're a really good fit and I'm pretty sure they're going to buy, because I don't want to waste my time or theirs. But the sales call is the final screening thing, right? And it's a vibe check. And, I'm just making sure I really understand everything about their situation and see if it's a match for what I do. And if it's not, then I don't pitch. And when I started doing that, I went from barely converting maybe 10% of the people that I talked to converting 70%. And it was amazing. And I was able to raise my prices. When I was converting 10%, I was selling packages for $400, maybe $450 a month. I was way underpriced. And when I learned this better way of selling that felt good, I was able to convert $3,000 packages for 90 days at about 70%. Okay. So a couple things, if you want to convert with really high vibes, period, you're first and foremost, you've got to be talking to the right people. If you are trying to sell to people who aren't aligned with what you do and they're not really ready and, all the things, if they're not really ideal clients, the only way to close those people is to be sleazy. So if you want to close more clients, but you're not willing to be sleazy to do it, you've got to make sure that you are talking to your highest quality leads. And then you need a system that will help you quickly vet your leads and show you who is a highly qualified lead, who's a qualified lead, because there's a slight difference, and who is an unqualified lead. And you need to know those unqualified leads because you need to be able to recognize them and boot them out of your sales pipeline and get them talking to, maybe you refer them to someone else, right? But you need to be able to recognize those people quickly so that you don't waste time trying to nurture them. Because in 2025, it's not working so well to just do fully automated sales for most people. So if you're trying to sell completely from emails or a funnel sales page, you're trying to, get people to buy directly from your content on social media, that's not working so well for most people. It never worked that well for most of us. If people have really super big, really warm audiences and they've had consistent messaging for years, then it works, pretty well for them. But if you're not already making 5 to 10K months consistently, then that alone is probably not going to convert very well for you. So in the last few years, there's been this trend of impersonal selling. I don't do sales calls. And I know Lauren, she doesn't do sales calls for everything, but she will get on a call with people. There's people that are I won't get on a call with anybody. They just have to buy from my stuff. And that was working for a while, especially amongst business coaches who had that message because people were like, oh, I want to be able to sell without sales calls. But there has been so much fuckery in the online space that people are wary and they've been burned. Most people have gotten at least one story of being burned. And so they're not as trusting as they used to be. And people have made investments at this point. So they know what they need and what they don't need. People are a lot more discerning. And what we found in the last year and a half, even 7 and 8 figure coaches have seen a sharp decline in their conversions, and especially on their high ticket stuff. And that is because they are trying to sell completely automated. So if you want to have more conversions in 2025, you need to be talking to the right people. You need to have a system in place to screen. The way I do it is through my offer suite. I have a very strategic offer suite, and I can tell by how people are showing up in my offer suite and how far they go in my offer suite, how serious they are, and if I want to help them, that they're ready, willing, and I like them enough to help them. Chemistry is very important to me. And you need to have really good lead nurturing skills and strategies. This is something that a lot of coaches will teach you strategies, but they don't teach you the skills that you need to actually use them and make them work. You need both. You need a strategy for warming people, and you need a strategy for filtering people really quickly, and then you need the skills, right, to actually apply it. And then if you really want to get the most out of your funnels and your emails and everything, you need to know how to do high vibe sales calls. So the basic thing I outlined for you, right? It's just a conversation to see if it's a good fit. Now, to make it really work, you need to be asking customized questions that are based on your ICA and based on your offer, right? You don't need to use a general sales script. It's not going to work. If you want to have the highest conversions, you need to be asking customized questions. And you need to be, just very open. One of the things that you need to ask is, do you have any questions, right? Make them feel safe. Let them know that you're the type of person that they can ask questions. You're not hiding anything. Another big one is you need to customize your pitch. So don't get on a sales call and say, well, my program is 12 weeks long and it costs this, $5,000 and, here's all the modules and blah, blah, blah. That is not going to convert nearly as well as if you are asking these customized questions. You know what you're listening for. You're asking good follow-up questions. And when it comes time to pitch, you need to customize your pitch so that you're talking to them about what actually matters to them. You need to be matching their challenges and desires with your program or your offer and talking about the features that are specifically going to help them. And then when it comes to, this was one of my biggest things about sales calls that I hated, was the whole thing around objections. And you can ethically handle objections. I'll give you a hint. Objections aren't actually rejections. They're talking about concerns. They have a concern about money. They have a concern about time. They have a concern about what their spouse might think. All of these things are not no's. And if you know how to help them, talk to them about it, then you could convert a lot of people that initially object without being sleazy or pushy. And it's actually a really good part of the sales conversation. It's kind of when things really connect with the person and really see what's first part of sales conversation, they're telling you what's in the way. In the objections part, if you know how to do it, you really find out what's going on. And it can really deepen the relationship. And even if they don't say yes at that time, the way that you treat them in that objection process is often what will make them come back to you when they do have the money or the time and be like, okay, you weren't pushy. I know I can trust you. We're really connected, right? So that is my quick breakdown on how to do ethical, high vibe, high integrity sales conversations that I've seen for myself and for my clients. And the whole, if you guys don't know, the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, is coming down hard on the coaching industry. And one of the things for our testimonials and everything, they want receipts, like real receipts, like substantiation, like they want a Stripe report, not just somebody's word that they 3 times their sales with you or whatever. But I will tell you, I don't have the substantiation for this, but my coaching clients that have come to me and they're already making high ticket sales before they work with me, and I help them to refine their process, feel more comfortable selling, they're able to 3 times their sales close rate within like 3 to 4 months of working with me. So high integrity, non-pushy stuff definitely works. But again, you got to have the skills, you got to have the strategy, you've got to be speaking to the right people. And yeah, I'm going to wrap it up for there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, you can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram with any questions, and I have freebies and all the things. So thank you, Lauren, for having me on.
That's your quick hit of clarity and momentum for the week. If it sparks something, share it with a friend or tag us in your stories at Business Over Cocktails and or at Lauren Najar. We love seeing what resonates. Don't forget, Mondays are for full-length episodes with rich conversations, and Fridays are the Business Chaser episodes. These are bite-sized insights pulled from our guests to keep you inspired and aligned throughout the week. Do you have a question or a takeaway? DM us at Business Over Cocktails. We just might feature it in a future episode. Cheers!